Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Blood Bowl 2. Let's get right to it. We gotta fight these elves. I'm confident that we won't get too badly brutalized here, at the very least. Okay, so our team has lower team value than they do, and it looks like our team value is 50 lower than theirs, I believe, so we're getting 50,000 money from that. And then we have 100k in petty cash, it says. They must have bought something as well. They must have bought something that was worth 50k, which awards us an additional 50k because we're the lower team. So we have some options here. We could buy modifier to recover from KOs. That's not super exciting. We could get a team reroll, an extra team reroll. We aren't quite able to afford a wizard. We could buy a bribe, which allows us to foul the enemy players with impunity because we can bribe the ref to leave us to not eject our player. We only get to actually use the bribe once per game, but you can throw a lot of fouls sometimes before the ref will call you on it. We can hire a wandering apothecary who could help protect us from an additional injury, or we could bring in a star player. I don't know who we have access to. We're familiar with this guy. This is the bomb thrower. We could pull in a guy who has a ball and chain. I don't like that. That guy's a danger to everyone around him, friend and foe alike. This is a star player with a chainsaw. You can tell there's a number of goblin star players whose thing is just that they smuggle an illegal weapon onto the field. All the good star players, unfortunately, are a little too expensive. We don't have the money. I think maybe we should pull an extra reroll. Give us 4 team rerolls per half. We can't really afford an injury, though. An injury at this point in the league could be devastating with our team as weak as it is. I'm going to take the reroll. We're going to avoid an injury by being better at smashing our opponents. Okay. I don't know why we have to hit OK and then wait 10 seconds. If this was multiplayer, I could say, it's maybe like a thing to make sure everybody's ready. But the computer should probably be ready. I think the AI is probably ready. Alright, High Elves. High Elves are not a particularly good punching team. I think they have 8 armor, 1 more armor point than us, and the 1 point of armor does matter quite a bit. I'm not going to describe the math to you, because I think probably most people aren't interested. But the difference between 7 and 8 armor is actually very significant. They're not great punchers. They're all going to be at 3 strength, but they're also all going to have 4 agility. So they're better at picking up the ball, better at passing and catching, better at dodging. If we are going to win this game, basically our only hope is that we throw some really solid punches, get some early injuries. If we don't do that, they're going to run circles around us. But remember, it's not just about winning this game. We can lose this game and not necessarily be out of contention. As long as we make sure that we get some star player points generated. Because we need some advancement on our team. Okay, they're choosing. They won the coin flip. We are kicking. That's... camera, there we go. Here we go. I like the grid. I need the grid. I played the game for too long with the grid on. So they're going to kick to us. Let's put our Skaven lineman on the line. Oh, that's right. We only have 1, don't we? Because the other one's out for the game. We could put a thrower up here too. We could also just put our blockers up. So they have blitzers on the end of the line with block. You know what? I'm going to put my blitzers right on the line against these guys. Let's try to generate, like I said, injuries as early as possible. And then anybody who's adjacent to an enemy player is potentially going to get punched, right? Only one person who's not adjacent to an enemy player is going to get punched. So I'm going to... Actually, let's use goblins for this. I'm going to place goblins here and here. so that it's awkward for them to get assists on the blitzer. They're going to have to fight us fair or not at all, is the hope. They could blitz one of these goblins off and make our lives difficult, but if they spend their blitz that way, I'm actually pretty happy about it. And then... just trying to figure out how I want to do this. If we set up like this... I'm going to switch the goblins in front of the throwers. If we set up like this, this doesn't leave them a lot of holes to get through. We have tackle zones covering the entire width of the field. The weak point is right here. If they blitz this guy off, it opens up this lane to run through. But I think, again, I'm not too worried about that. If we leave them a narrow lane to run through and they run one guy through it, that's actually not even that dangerous. Okay, both teams get an extra team reroll this half. That means that we have 5, I believe? Yeah. Oh, they have 4, so we're not even actually that ahead.
I'm thinking about what to have for lunch. Roast elf heart or baked halfling leg.
So you can see today the game's being played in fair weather, at least for now. The weather can change during the game. But for now we're in fair weather, so it's going to be a little bit easier to pick up the ball, a little bit easier to catch the ball. I don't know whether that really favors them or us more, because they were already going to have a pretty easy time doing everything. It's interesting how few punches they're throwing, and they've managed to screw up the 2+ pickup. I believe. Yeah, they rolled a 1 on the pickup. Okay, had to blow a team reroll already. That's nice to see. Oh. If they had only rolled 2 dice, they would have gotten double skulls. And with no reroll. Yep, and now they can pretty safely back a lot of their players away. This is a strange move. I don't know why you would move a guy out of this position just to move another guy back into it. But yeah, you can see the elf dodge roll. The elf only needs to roll a 3+ to get away from you, and it sucks. We're going to have a hard time stopping these guys. This is my big concern. So let's have the goblin over here stand. We're not going to use him for anything fancy, so let's just get him up before we roll any dice. And then, yeah, let's throw some punches. So I suppose we should start with punches that are near the ball. If we provide a couple of assists on this player... If we provide 1 assist, we could get our goblin to throw a 1-die block. And potentially open up, if we like throw a block and push this guy this way, we potentially open up a blitz path for the thrower on the ball carrier. So we'd have to stand a goblin here. We have 5 team rerolls. I'm willing to try some risky stuff. Okay, we push him this way, and we follow. And now the Skaven thrower can run up here. The question now is, do I want to try to provide an assist to make this a 2-die block? I think the answer to that question is yes. And I think the best way to do that is to run this goblin through. It's going to necessitate a dodge. So let's plant another goblin over here, just, you know, tackle zones. We provide the assist from this space so that the blitz happens from this space, so that if we follow up, none of our players up here are left adjacent to the edge. Okay.
This could be a sack. I love it.
Alright. See if we can knock this ball loose. This guy doesn't have any skills. Do I even want to grab the ball? If I go after the ball, there's a pretty good chance I won't pick it up. Right, because this guy is adjacent to it, so we'll have a slightly reduced chance to pick it up. I do have Sure Hand, so I get a free reroll if I fail. Then I have to try to dodge out of his tackle zone, and then I'm still in a position where I'm going to get mobbed by elves. I think the answer is no, I don't try to pick it up. What I do instead is stand over here. I guess it doesn't really matter where I stand. But if I stand over here, these guys standing up cannot provide assists on me, even if bad stuff happens to my goblin buddies. No, it's fine. He's standing in the right place. I think. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's throw some more punches. You are not getting very much accomplished over here, so why don't you come up here, provide an assist.
He's coming to help his buddy. That's gonna hurt.
Ah. I think I'm not going to spend the reroll. Let's just take the push, as much of a bummer as it is. And we will follow. Let's try to stay on him. Take another punch over here. Oh, let's re-roll that. Okay, better. Now, in this case, I think I'm going to stay put. Because I'd just be moving into a 2-die block for free. And the tackle zone that we're generating on these guys isn't worth the risk of our thrower getting injured, especially a thrower who already has star player points. If this guy survives to the end of the game, he could get level 2 for free off of the MVP award, right? So we want to try to keep that possibility. Let's see if we can get the troll in. He's got a teammate next to him to help him understand the order. Okay. Good stuff. And then you... We could... move adjacent. I think this is a good enough use of our tackle zones here. This makes it awkward to squeeze through the middle. They have to take extra movement to get around him. Honestly, I feel pretty good about that turn. And it's always nice to end a turn by saying, I'm done, rather than by failing a dice roll.
Haha, here's some friends.
Alright, well they're setting up a lot of assists, but they... Huh. What is their plan here? Alright, their plan over here is just to put a bunch of guys adjacent to the ball before they try to pick it up. But this is good. We've got them in a position where they have to make some die rolls to move forward. And in Blood Bowl, that's almost always the best you can do.
Gutsy and brilliant. Taking the ball from right under the opposing team's nose.
Oh, spookums. Okay, it's just a stun. No big deal. So, like I said, what we really, really need here is star player points. I would say possibly... Man. A couple of armor breaks in a row there. Having a 3 star player point guy sent off the field... Blitzer, in particular, really sucks sent off the field. But I don't think it's worth using our 1 apothecary. Somebody could get really hurt. We need to not lose players, because again, we really need to advance people. So, we're in a very, very bad position now. Okay. We can do this, though. So, these 2 elves are having their assists denied, right? If we wanted to throw a punch on the ball carrier, we actually can do it pretty easily. Move my blitzer to here.
They'll need to get rid of the ball. Now there's pressure on them.
And you can see, these 2 guys are having their assist denied by this goblin. And we can deny this guy's assist with Recruit here. Leaves Recruit in kind of a risky position, but also he's a goblin, so, you know, who cares. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. Let's follow him up. This is good for us. So... I think I'm going to blitz this guy. Oh no, there's no assist there, that's right. I'm just trying to figure out, I need to get more players near the ball. We can have this goblin dodge out, come over here, provide an assist. I can have my thrower just throw a punch. Not that this guy's important, but just because I want to throw a punch. At some point this turn. I want to throw a blitz. Yeah, let's go for this. And I'm just going to hit this guy as we pass. But we're headed toward the ball. Yeah, push is fine. Whatever. I'm not going to be too concerned about it. Don't follow, because I don't want to be in his tackle zone. I don't want to have to dodge. We just try to get a little deeper into the field here. Now, we have some moves here we have to figure out. I guess this is a 1-die block, since we have an 1 goblin assist. And if we make it, even if it's just a push, we can get him adjacent to the troll, and we can also free this guy up so that he can move without having to dodge. Let's go for it. Well, that's just lucky. I'll follow. Alright, good stuff. So, I'm having a hard time getting a player adjacent to the troll, unfortunately, to help him understand orders. We could go for like a dodge into more tackle zones, but that's pretty risky. So what would I rather have this goblin do? Honestly, there's nothing good for him to do. I'm just going to move him here so that he's reinforcing in this area. And then let's try to just get a punch. Oof. It would only be a 1-die block because of all the elf assists. That's what I should have had this goblin do. Well, actually, it's still his action. We haven't told him to do anything else yet. Let's have him... I moved him into a tackle zone. Whatever, it's fine. He'll be fine. Yep. So he'll deny that assist. Now we get our 2-die block. And I'm going to throw a punch right here. Nope, too stupid. His tackle zones are fairly important. We do have a lot of rerolls. I'm going to try it. Okay. Just trying to get tackle zones onto more players. Make them roll dice, you know? Alright, every enemy player, except for this guy, is currently in somebody's tackle zone, so we're making them roll the dice. They're doing a really good job at it, though. Oh, they found a good punch on our troll. I did put him in a position where a lot of assists are available on him. He has 9 armor value. I'm really not afraid of him getting injured. And they've spent their blitz already. That's good for us. We're probably going to be able to hit this ball carrier with a 2-die block pretty trivially, right? We just move the goblin up to here for an assist. I suppose it matters how the rest of this works out, but... they're setting up for a pass. The ball carrier's already taken his action, so they can't throw the pass this turn. I mean, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do about this. We certainly can't catch them. We can try to screen. It is possible to intercept the ball. It's not super likely that you will intercept the ball, but it is possible. Honestly, I think I've only seen it happen once or twice in all the time I've been playing Blood Bowl. Alright. Let's take this 2-die block. Start things off here. They are not protecting their ball carrier very well. Alright, I'm going to use... You take it here. He's going to throw our blitz for the turn. He's going to hit this guy. If he can achieve at least a push, he pushes him off, gets out of his tackle zone, right? And then just runs up and grabs the ball and tries to get towards the end zone. He won't be able to get to the end zone, but... all we have to find is a push to make this work. Alright. Pushing him here lets us run through this space. Makes our... gives us potentially one more square of fleeing with the ball. I don't think I want to stand here, because if they hit me from the side and are able to roll a push but nothing better, they push me to here and follow up to here, and then there's no way out. And they're close enough to me... yeah, they have 7 moves, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're close enough to me that moving here instead of here doesn't even change the number of guys that can hit me. This just gives me a little bit... an additional option or two in case some... okay. Failed to pick up, but re-rolled it for free with sure hands. Making me a little nervous. This is good. This is really good. We're getting somewhere here. So let's run a goblin up to here. We're getting some assists laid out. And then a goblin up to here. This guy is canceling that assist, while this guy provides an assist of his own. Let's see if we can do some damage. Ah, it's a shame. That's not a kill at all. Alright, I'm going to have this guy move up to try to provide some tackle zones. And now that the troll has a conscious friend nearby, hopefully he'll be able to get up. Okay, good. Alright, well, we're providing tackle zones. We're doing what we can. Unfortunately, it's very likely that these elves are going to be able to break free wherever they feel like doing it. Yep, they're setting up a real good couple of punches. Hopefully it won't matter. If we could get lucky and sneak a touchdown right now, it would dramatically improve our chances of winning the game rather. As well as, ooh, he went for the 1 die. Bad luck. He's got a reroll. Good luck. Okay. Well, we're making him spend the rerolls at least. Oh. Well, that's a hell of an outcome. Went right into his hands. The most important thing about a touchdown, though, honestly, even more important than winning the game, is that touchdowns are a nice, reliable source of star player points. Okay, we're getting some good rolls here. They are failing to knock down players in semi-important positions. Ooh, that's a really bad result for them. They were able to take a both down and at least hit our guy as well, but yeah, that was pretty bad for them. Alright, so let's get you up. I don't think there's any chance that I'm blitzing or anything. This guy can just stand up. That's fine. So the big sources of star player points are scoring touchdowns, which awards the touchdown, the player who scores 3 star player points. Hitting someone hard enough to injure them, which awards 2. And then passing also will award 1 star player point. I believe interceptions award 1 as well, but like I said, that's not something that happens a lot. Okay, let's take the 2-die block on this guy so that we can free up our goblins to come over here and provide assists.
They're gathering around that lone player, like halflings around a sandwich.
Because what we need is to free somebody up so that they can blitz this guy, right? It would be best if we could take out these 2 without having to use Piercer. No, there's no way to do that. Never mind. Because we can have the goblin punch 1 of them with enough assists, but... So I guess really the only version of this that works is we put a goblin right here, and we blitz up off the ground with U-Ticket.
This could be fun, especially if the ball holder goes down. All this focus on the ball is against the spirit of the game.
I'm going to re-roll it.
From violence.
Ah. That was risky, but I really need that ball. Okay, both down's a good result for us because our guy has block and their guy doesn't. Okay, we got a stun. That is an armor break, but it does not provide star player points. You have to give him the kind of injury that knocks him off the field. We could throw a 1-die block on this guy. It's not too bad, likely to turn out poorly. In fact, a both down result, which would end our turn, is actually totally fine in this situation. Because we want him down more than we want him up, I think. But before we go doing that, we can throw a 2-die block with the troll. Let's get that going. Let's hit this guy.
Oh, big guy. Trample.
Ah. Alright, I'll take this both down. That's fine. We have Mighty Blow, so we're more likely to injure other players when we hit them. Star player points on a big guy, it's a big deal. And remember, he's at 5 points from the MVP award last game. So if he could just get one injury dealt out, he'll level up. We really desperately need some levels.
This player likes to be well assisted in a fight.
Okay, we both have 2 team rerolls left. He's being a little cautious with them. Not rerolling safe blocks. That's the smart thing to do. Rerolling a safe block, like what I did up here, is always risky. Because if you reroll into something that's going to end your turn, you feel like a real idiot. I'm very concerned about this. This guy could very easily just run away from us and then throw a pass downfield to that. Yep. Well, they just scored. Almost certainly. I mean, the pass could still fail. Oh, they just ended the turn without taking the pass. Well, that's just downright cowardly. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is put a blocker on that guy.
This could be fun, especially if the ball holder...
We'd have to make a go for it to hit the... He doesn't have to. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to provide an additional assist on this elf. Now, with 2 assists, the goblin can get a 2-die block. All he has to do is achieve a push, knock the guy to this square, and that lets our blitzer go over here and hit that guy without having to make a dodge.
Come on, guys. Together.
I mean, either way we're rolling dice, but the odds of success on a 2-die block are much better than the odds of success on the dodge. Okay, decent KO. We're not getting any real injuries though. I'm disappointed in us, frankly. I'm going to hit him from this square. The reason is, if I hit him from here, I'll have to push him into one of these 3 spaces, and then I'll be here. If I hit him from here, I can push him back and follow into his space, and then I'm in front of him, so he has to dodge back away from me to not be dodging into another one of my tackle zones. In this way, we can make him spend a little bit of extra movement. Ooh, reroll that.
Watching the same match as you.
Okay, that'll work. Oh no, he has block too. He's a blitzer. Well, I think that is still better than the other option we had. This keeps him closer to a larger number of players. Let's just really swarm him. And then... let's make life difficult for these elves if we can. Good stuff. This guy has no skills. Do I want to just take a 2-die block, or take a 1-die block here? I guess if I'm going to take a 1-die block anywhere, it's right there. Our thrower against their thrower. Yeah, let's do it. I might just roll skull here. Yep, totally did. And our guy is injured. Okay. The odds of that... This is a player who's not near leveling. He's not actually injured. I'm going to save the apothecary. He's not injured in the sense that he's not like going to lose stat points or anything. The 1-die block has a 1 in 6 chance of knocking just you down, a 1 in 6 chance of knocking knocking both players down, and a 2 in 6 chance of knocking down the opponent. So mathematically pretty solid. Oh, he flubbed his pass. Here comes the reroll. Yep, he made it, and that's the point. Okay, well, we're going to receive the ball now. If we can make a point quickly, which is very unlikely, but if we can manage to make it happen... their KO got up. So did ours. Alright, not bad. Yeah, if we can make a point here real fast... What do we have? 3 turns? If we can make a fast point, we get the kickoff in the second half. We can make a second point, maybe? And then we just have to keep them off the scoreboard. But it's not that likely to work. 3 turns is tough. So they had to set up first. This is their real setup. We need to put ourselves in a position to mangle as many of these elves as possible. Because we really, really, really need there to be fewer guys on the field during the next half, if we're going to have any chance of winning. You should go here. So we have 2-die block, 2-die block, 2-die block. This is not a 2-die block, but we can maybe get there if the troll knocks this guy down. And our thrower's in a good position to shag some... I mean, if the ball ends up over here or over here, we're in a lot of trouble, but I could pull somebody else back. We'll pull like another one of the goblins back. Nah, we're going to go for it. They don't have a lot of control over where the ball lands, so... Wow. Can't even kick it properly. Both teams lose a turn basically means there's no way for us to get a kick out. Aw. If he had been able to start the half with the ball on the line of scrimmage without me having to do any pickup tests or anything, that would have been pretty great. So there's a chance. There's a chance with the ball being here. My players have 7 move. So you can see we can make it in 2 moves. Man, Riot is just bad luck. How do we want to do this? We have 1 reroll, so we have to be careful about doing risky things. Let's throw blocks with our blitzers, you know, like wherever the blocks are safest. Because again, it's not just about scoring here, it's also about injuring them so badly that they can't play the game well during the second half. This is pretty much my only real hope. That guy has block. We should be careful. So right now, if we can get 1 more assist, actually, if this guy moves to here, this becomes a 3-die block. It's quite a bit safer. Now we're over double his strength. Okay, that counts as an injury. And that's a level up for our troll. That's fantastic. That was a blitzer, too. We removed one of their blitzers from the game. That's very, very good for us. Okay, so let's take this hit. Here's what I'm thinking. If we can clear this guy out, then we have 1 goblin free to run over here. That means that this goblin is free to take... This goblin will have a 2-die block. That way we don't have to use Piercer's turn to punch. He can pick up the ball and maybe even blitz over to here. Yeah. I think that's a... Yeah. Because we got to make it down the field in a hurry if we want to try to get this touchdown. So let's start with this. Alright. I'm going to give the assist from here so that when we push this guy to here, if he's still up, he's at least covered a little bit. And then I think I don't follow him, though. I think I stay put. And the reason I stay put is that if we try to pick up the ball and it fails, it could fall into his hands, which wouldn't end the turn. So wait, actually, I don't think it's a good idea to try to pick it up with Piercer, because Piercer needs to get downfield, so that if we do fail the pickup and we have to do a bobble play, we still have a player who can run into the end zone on our next turn. There's no way for us to provide an assist for Piercer. He's just going to have to take this blitz one-on-one. He has block and the enemy player doesn't, so the both down face is actually positive for us, meaning there are 3 faces that are knockdowns, 2 that are just pushes. There's no way we can get an assist over here or anything. I think we just have to take this raw. I don't want to move up the thrower yet because I want him to actually try to pick up the ball. We can't move him and then start moving another player. His turn will be over when we move another player, so... There's also this punch to throw, but I don't want to do anything that could result in a failure right now. This is too important. This has to happen. Okay. I'm not going to re-roll that. We're going to do this. We're going to not follow. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. We are exactly within touchdown range without having to spend any GFIs. So that's where the pass goes next turn. Now we got to try this. Actually, yeah, we should try this now so that if it fails in a catastrophic way, we can try again next turn. If we were to go for the block first, and that failed, we would only have one chance to pick the ball up during next turn. So let's do this, and then we'll throw this block real fast. Okay, he got that. Okay, good punch. Follow him up, just stay on him, don't let him run around a lot. And then the goblin can run up here, and this gives us a second out. This is less likely to work for a number of reasons. We'll talk about why that is if it comes up. Basically, though, the players on our team have a trait called animosity, which means they are less likely to want to give the ball to a player who's not of their race. So the Skaven players have to pass a roll to give to the goblins, and the goblins similarly have to pass a roll to give to the actually, wait a second. No, goblins don't have it. It's just the Skaven. Yeah, the Skaven on our team don't like to give the ball to non-Skaven players. And that's fine. We basically never want a non-Skaven player to have the ball. Alright, so here comes the blitz on the ball carrier. There wasn't a lot we could do to prevent this. Bad luck for them, and there's their last team reroll. Oh, where's the ball going? Where's the ball going? Being stunned and being KO'd right now are not super different, so I'm not going to use our... That's very bad for us. That's very, very bad for us. Okay, we can score. It involves this. Goblin comes up, hands off the ball to the Skaven. Skaven runs it in. We have one team reroll. The goblins have average agility, so they're not, like, terrible at picking the ball up. Okay, he did it. Now we have to pass a receiving roll here, but it's a pretty easy one. We did it. We score. We're not taking any tests of any kind. Anything could, skulls and reroll into skulls. We're not jeopardizing it. We managed to pull off a minor miracle here, and we're taking it. Okay, so 3 star player points on a blitzer. Not bad at all. Blitzers are going to be our main scorers, generally. The thrower is going to pick up the ball. He's going to deliver it to the blitzer. That's kind of the plan. So it's good for them to get beefed up. All right, 1-1, and we're about to receive. This is good. This is a good omen. Also, we murdered a guy, so that's cool. All right. Come on. Give me that KO roll. Nope. Guy didn't wake up. Okay. That was a thrower? So what do I have on the field right now? I have a lineman, both my blitzers, and then all the non-rat players. And only 9. Only 9 guys. They have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys. So we're shorthanded, and then also a bunch of our players are goblins. Well, I think a very similar kickoff formation makes sense, but unfortunately we do have to pull somebody back to try to get the ball. And I think it's going to be a goblin because I need my Skaven up front for punching. The Bright Seahawks get a free bonus turn, but any player in an enemy tackle zone may not perform an action. That's pretty bad. That's a bad kickoff event. We're seeing relatively rare kickoff events here. The super common ones have not been coming up. Alright, so they're denying all of our assists, basically wrecking my whole offensive plan. Our turn's going to be a lot harder than I was hoping when it finally starts. And they get one good punch off. Not a good punch, just a punch. Okay. That was very, very, very bad for us. It was, like, really incredibly bad. So I'm going to throw this punch. Oh, no, my assist is being denied. And this guy is a blitzer. So this punch isn't even that likely to work. We could have the goblin roll out. His dodge is pretty solid. He has a 3+ and he gets a free reroll on it. And then have him move over to like here. try this punch. Like, again, it would be really cool if we could get a couple of elves off the pitch. We can throw the 1-die block over here. This is a little bit more likely to work because their player doesn't have block, so both down is a face that actually hits for us. Okay, great start. Where do I think I can open up a hole? I'm going to try pushing this guy this way. We'll have the troll push that way, and maybe we can squeeze our goblin through the middle. But we no longer have a team reroll for that for this turn, because we just had to spend it on that easy block. And that sucks a lot. Also, the fact that this troll didn't get a knockdown means that he now cannot provide an assist. This is bad. This is really bad. Alright, let's try to pick the ball up. Yeah, if I fail to pick the ball up, they're just going to score a point. In a way that I almost certainly can't prevent. Because they're fast, they'll run down, they'll take the ball, they'll dodge away because their dodges are super good. So... let's grab the ball, try to... nope, he fumbled it, and we don't have a team reroll. That is extremely likely to be a score, a point for them. We're not that unlikely to be able to score back, but now we're in a position where we have to tie up the... basically, what's going to happen here is we have to tie the game and then give them the ball. Which obviously is way more likely to end up in a victory for them than a victory for us. Not the lucky one. Badly hurt? Yeah, I'm not. I'm not re-rolling an injury on a badly hurt goblin. He'll live. Also, I wouldn't re-roll it if it killed him. Honestly, it's very difficult to convince me to re-roll an injury on a goblin. To a certain extent. I don't want to sound callous, but like, to a certain extent, who cares? Goblin got injured, who cares? Okay, this is really extremely bad for us. The good news is, we can break this lineman free. We can break our blitzer free with only 1 dodge. And it's a 3+ on a d6. That's all we have to do is roll 3. Then we run down to here, we hit this guy. Yep, failed the dodge. Got a team reroll. Please make it. Nope. Okay. Well, that'll be that then. We had to make a dodge no matter how we did it, so... and he's injured. I think I am going to apothecary this, because we cannot afford to have blitzers leaving the field. The badly hurt's not a big deal, but this will mean that he gets to... It's effectively he's just out of the play. He'll come back next drive. So yeah, this guy's going to do a single dodge and then break free. So there's a point for them. Like I said, it should be possible for us to score in return, but then we have to give them the ball, and that's pretty bad. Fail the GFI. Fail it. Aw. Yeah, that kickoff event totally screwed us. I mean, that's Blood Bowl. It happens. Okay. Show me... Alright, he got up. He got up. This is... It's hard to understate, or rather, it's hard to overstate how bad this is. This is really phenomenally bad. We are in a lot of trouble. How do I want to do this? I guess this is the right thing. We have a thrower for the backfield. At least we have some chance of throwing the ball. I haven't mentioned it yet, but the reason that I don't try to use goblins for throwing plays is that they're too small to handle the ball correctly. They have this trait, stunty. It makes them harder to catch. They're better at dodging, but they can't throw the ball very well, and they get hurt more. They get injured more easily. All right, this is the right setup. We just need to not get a terrible, terrible kickoff event. And really, there's no kickoff event that's worse than the one we got, except, oh, we get an extra team reroll. That's nice. Except, there's an event where people from the stands throw rocks at players on the field. If one of those had happened and, like, killed one of our players, that would totally be worse. It could have been worse. Alright, let's take some decently likely to work blocks. Okay. We're going to follow this guy up. Part of the reason I wanted to do this one first is because it allows our goblin provides his assist and then gets to move over here and provide an assist again. Do I want to move him? I might just want to down him in place. Yeah, let's just drop him in place. Now you are... Alright, come on. Just be a good troll. You can do this. I believe in you.
Two big goons that get together and fall on it. It can really hurt.
Okay, so now we have 2 assists on this guy from a goblin. I'm going to go with the blitzer play next. There we go. Armor breaks. This is what we're looking for. Not a real injury. Man, we're having a hell of a time hurting anybody. This barely even feels like Blood Bowl. Alright, let's throw one more punch before we move on. I am not going to follow him. The troll's got that guy well in hand. This guy's going to stay put and provide some tackle zoning. Going to run a goblin back so that we have a little bit of protection on the pickup. This way, if the pickup fails in some hilarious way, at least there's a chance it will still end up in somebody's hands. Okay. How much move do you have? Alright, you can't actually get me. And then this goblin doesn't really have a thing worth doing. He could blitz. We haven't used our blitz. He could generate a 1-die block over here. Is that guy a blitzer? No, he's just a random lineman. Maybe I do that. Just to keep throwing punches, because we do need to drop enemy players. And again, it is more likely to work out in my favor than it is to work out in his, although there is a chance it could work out in his. Now, I'm going to move him right here. He's just going to provide tackle zones. Let's just make it awkward for the enemy to pressure the ball carrier. Alright, ending up shorthanded really sucks, but it's something that's going to happen on any team that's primarily staffed by goblins. We're going to have to play from behind on numbers during the second half pretty frequently. It's an important skill for us to develop now. Okay, I'm grateful that they're spending their blitz on the wrong side of the field. I really do appreciate that. I'm also grateful that they haven't managed to kill that lineman yet. They have another good punch coming, though. Okay. That's pretty lucky for us that they couldn't find a POW on any of those dice. Yeah, it says that they dodge on a 3+, but there is a +1 on dodge rolls just because dodging is an easy action. So it is actually a 2. They roll a d6 and they successfully dodge if they manage to find at least a 2. Alright, so we're going to hit this guy. Troll's going to hit this guy. We're going to kind of open up the middle of the field, I think, is the plan.
Unity is strength.
Yeah, block works. Or both down works. Let's drop that guy in place. Now, this is a little bit dangerous because it means that after the follow-up, the troll won't be adjacent to one of us anymore. But I think I still will have him follow up because his tackle zone on this guy is going to be valuable. Okay. So we can move our blitzer up. Or we can move our ball carrier up. We just have to figure out a way to make him safe. So we're going to blitz this guy off. We're going to open up a safe spot for our ball carrier to stand in. Excellent. Yeah, go ahead and follow up. Okay, all of a sudden we remembered how to hit people. Another stun. That's a shame. So we got to figure out, where do we want the ball player to be, or the ball carrier to be? We probably don't want her to be adjacent to an enemy player, even one that's downed. So I'm going to put him right, let's see here, right here. This is where he can run to without having to make any GFIs. So I'm going to put this blitzer right here. And we're going to make a little cage around the ball carrier. Unfortunately, this is not the ideal way to make a cage, because usually you don't want any of the... You make a little like diagonal cage around your player, and anybody who wants to hit him has to deal with moving into a tackle zone, then moving out of a tackle zone into 2 more tackle zones. So, usually the way they have to deal with it is by blitzing one of the guys who makes up the cage, and then they don't have a blitz to actually hit the ball carrier with. Just a little bit easier to maintain the integrity of the cage if none of the corners are adjacent to enemy players at the start, but at least they won't be adjacent to any standing enemy players. Also, you can definitely have... Yeah, see. You can definitely have a more sturdy cage than this. The goblin cage is not ideal play. This goblin is not really in a position to do anything of value. Yeah, there's no place I can put him where he's going to be meaningful. So I'll just have him here, make this guy make a dodge to get out. And this Skaven's not going to do anything but get his own face punched right off. So it might be better to just take a dodge roll with him. He's more likely to survive the dodge than he is to survive the storm of punches that are coming his way. And we can just come over here, make him a nuisance. We actually... Yeah, let's do this. Let's put him right next to the ball carrier. Alright, good stuff.
Hit stuff.
Okay, this isn't a bad position for us. So we want to score pretty late in the half, I think. We don't want to give the ball to the elves with more than a turn or maybe 2 remaining, right? We don't want them to have a chance to score before the end of the game. There's a couple of different overtime models that are sometimes used for Blood Bowl. I don't know if we have overtime, and if we do, which kind we have. It might be that this is just, we'll just get a draw. Draw's better than a loss, certainly. Okay, so they're spite blitzing our goblin rather than trying to get to the ball carrier. He's fine, he'll be fine. One of the announcers really wants our guys to get crowd surfed. This is blatant favoritism. Okay. How do we make this work? I'm going to move this goblin up. Get an assist so we can get a 2-die block here. Sort of open up, start to open up a path. This is not ideal. I'll take it though. So we follow up. And now... our ball carrier almost has a safe way out. If we can get rid of this guy, it's going to get better. And I have a plan. Okay, a KO. That's alright. Again, I'd really like some just straight murder. If we could get a little bit of murder going. I'm sure you guys remember that one. So we can move a goblin here to provide an assist, have this blitzer run up, crush this guy, and then that does open a path for our ball carrier, and we have a couple of players left to free to move who can form a partial cage. But because they've made us sort of dismantle our own cage to get good punches, we can't get the kind of security that we had before. The other thing we could do here is we could have this guy blitz around to this side. Actually, we should try to just hit this guy with a troll. I don't know what I'm talking about blitzing. It might be better to just move up the left side of the field. Actually, it almost certainly is.
Two big goons that get together.
There you go.
It can really hurt.
I think I want to push this guy down, and we try to move past him as much as possible. Okay, this is starting to look a lot better. Especially if some of these KOs last. If we do go into overtime and a lot of their guys can't get up, that could be really good for us. So then we want to blitz this guy off instead. So let's send a goblin up to provide the assist. We'll have our blitzer run around so that we can push this guy away from the direction that we're carrying the ball. It's important to hit people from the right side. Or the correct side, which in this case is the left side. Push him here so the goblin's got him covered. Don't follow him. Alright, a stun. Good stuff. Now, the reason we don't want to follow him is, of course, we are going to try to set up a cage here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be a pretty good place for a ball carrier to be. So you get to be one of the corners of the cage. Put the ball carrier here. And this goblin's going to have to run out and form up here. And you can see we can only build half of a normal cage. It's just going to have to be good enough. I'm not going to stand this guy up. He'll just get crowd surfed. Not a bad move there. It's a pretty good turn or so. With all of the KOs and the armor breaks and whatnot. I have high hopes for this drive to end in a touchdown for us, which is good. But like I said, I don't know how we're going to figure out a win from there. Oh, here it comes. Oh, he failed to go for it. They still have a ton of rerolls, though.
Well, they had to retreat a little.
Okay. He'd already used his team reroll for the turn, so he wasn't able to reroll that both down. But it wasn't that bad of a result for him. Especially since he stunned our guy. Which is going to make it awkward to pick the ball back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a GFI. It's not bad. Do we just go for it? If we just go for it, they'll get the ball and they're 14. They'll have 3 turns to figure out a point. I don't love it. It would be a level up on our blitzer, which is valuable. We actually can make... We can remove the go for it by adding a blitz in there. Right, if we put this goblin here. No, that doesn't change anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. I had to go for it, no matter what. We could... Nope, can't make it any more likely to work. Nothing I do will help. We could score later in the half, potentially. If we can knock this guy down and then hold him with a bunch of goblins. But if we do that, we're risking, you know, some elfy nonsense where he dodges through a web of tackle zones, throws a 1-die block on our guy, manages to stun him. You know, you've seen this already. I think I'm just going to try to take the touchdown. But I suppose we should move some guys into position to, just in case the ball pickup fails or we fail the GFI or something. Let's move guys into positions to help keep the elves off of us. Let's make it so this guy's covered as well. No. Don't you try to pick up the ball. There we go.
Now it's just a simple matter of getting the ball at their feet.
Oh, I just made it so I can't do the path I wanted. Now I do have to blitz. That's fine. Hitting guys is good. So I have to declare this guy's blitz before we move him, though. He's got the ball. Now, if this knockdown breaks armor, then we maybe don't have to score right away. Okay, it didn't. I should probably just dunk this, because he's going to get up. Well, he'd have to make a GFI to hit us. You know what? I'm going to stop right before the end zone. He has to get up, dodge out, roll over here, get a successful 1-die block against the blitzer, and roll the GFI in order to not just in order to stop us from scoring, I think we have a good chance of preventing that from happening. So let's put this goblin here. Let's make it hard for any of these other elves to try to contribute to the play. See if we can get the troll into a position where he can maybe help a little bit. Yeah. He made a really stupid roll. I'm always nervous about that. And then I'm going to make a 1-die block here. Try to hit this guy. See if we can push him down here. That would make it basically impossible for any of these three to contribute. And if it doesn't work out and he gets hit, like, it's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, I'm not... Actually, I guess we should take the reroll because this is the last rerollable action this turn. We're about to go to turn 15. You can only use one team reroll per turn, so there's no sense having more team rerolls left than there are turns. And we're definitely not throwing a block with that goblin. Okay. I will feel much more comfortable giving them the ball on their 15th turn than on their 14th turn. Failed his dodge. He does have a team reroll. Okay. So now he has to do the rest of this without a team reroll. He failed his GFI. He rolled a 1 on the going for it roll. And he got stunned. That's pretty good. I'm gonna do some stuff. This is maybe inadvisable, but this guy can't get up and threaten on the next turn. So I'm going to have this Skaven thrower blitz up, hit this guy, and then run over here and try to get in the way of this guy. And I'm gonna try to give them the ball in their 16th turn when there's no way they could score. And again, I don't even know like what the overtime rules are, but I'm just trying to prepare for as many of the situations as possible. Okay, so that's a crappy situation to be in. When he gets up, he can't come after our ball carrier unless he dodges out of this tackle zone into a tackle zone, then out of this tackle zone into a tackle zone, then again out of a tackle zone. So that guy's probably out of the play. We have very little movement left though because we just got up, so I cannot safely get over to here. I guess I'll just stand there. That's fine. Let's have the troll do this, actually. Okay, push is fine. Just follow him up, stay in his face. The reason I wanted the troll to do that was because you can move the Skaven over here. I know the troll is, I'm just nervous about telling the troll to move. He never seems to want to, you know. And now we have a 2-die block here, so let's take it. Yeah. Keep punching. Get them star player points. Okay, and now that this guy's laying down and this far away and in this many tackle zones, I'm fairly sure he can't do anything either. So I'm just going to stay right there. We'll score next turn when it's relatively safe to hand the enemy the ball. And let's 1-die blocks and, you know, whatever. Do I follow him? I think I do follow him. Okay. I'm trying my best here to earn some star player points. We could really use a little bit of successful violence. Interesting that they're choosing to use their blitz here. I wonder what the plan is. Huh. Then he didn't move after the punch. Weird. I wonder what the AI was thinking when it called the blitz. Because, like, this is a much better place to blitz, right? Hit this goblin, see if you can knock him down, and then at least move toward the ball a little bit. Boy, they really hit that goblin. Oh, that guy failed to dodge. Okay, they just used their last team reroll. That's significant. Alright, we probably should not take any actions this turn that are not score. I'm going to do my little celebration. We just have to do it before we go in the end zone. Okay, so that's a level for that blitzer. And let's see what happens when the game is tied at the end of regulation, because I have no idea. Yes, I'm the one who set up the tournament, but I just left the overtime rules on whatever the default is, so I have no idea. Okay, I don't want to use the real cowards formation, because we might actually have to play out some turns here. So let's instead set up to actually play some Blood Bowl. I'm going to use a thrower on the line. There's some chance that he just gets smashed, but he has 0 SPP, and like, it wouldn't be the end of the world if that happened. Okay. Well, let's try to kick it. I'm going to try to kick it a little further back just so that it doesn't have a chance of landing directly on one of these guys. Let's try to make this as hard to receive as possible. Oh, we got an extra team reroll. It's true, we do have brilliant coaching.
The match can't end in a draw. Do something, please.
Listen, I would love to do something. I think all we can really do is hold on here. So the most common way of playing overtimes in Blood Bowl is at the end of the game, if there's a tied score, you just add 4 turns to the end of the game. And then at the end of those 4 turns, you check and see, is the score still tied? And if the score is tied then, you add 4 more turns, and so on until such a check fails. The game doesn't just end if somebody scores. If somebody scores but their opponent can also score within the 4 turns, then the game continues. Which means it is potentially possible to have an unbounded game of Blood Bowl, but so what happens? Oh, it looks like the... Okay, game ended in a draw. I'm fine with that. I'll take a draw. I was very much expecting to lose that. Okay, we rolled a 6 on winnings. Pretty happy with that. Got some fan factor. That's... yeah. My coach leveled up. Whatever, man. Okay. The lucky one rolled MVP, so that's not great. Goblins don't really need SPP. Their job is to get punched and die. But I suppose if one leveled up, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So, let's level up some players. We get a couple of levels, and they're in a couple of really good places, too. Let's start with our Troll. So when a player hits 6 SPP, you get to level them up. You roll 2d6, roll the dice. We pulled an 8. So there are 5 categories of skills that you can gain on level up. You can see some of the levels, or some of the skill categories, are marked with these dice, indicating that you can only pick from this category if you roll doubles. So trolls are really good at learning strength and mutation skills, but only rarely could they learn a general skill or an agility skill or a passing skill, which hopefully makes sense, because that's not really their deal. If you roll very high, if you roll a 10, an 11, or a 12, you can take a stat point instead, which can be pretty valuable sometimes. But our troll has pulled an 8, so this is one of the things that makes this team special. One of the reasons I like this team so much is that I think all of the players on the team have access to the mutation skill group without having to roll a double. The mutation skills are pretty unusual, and they let you do some pretty incredible things. So, for example, we could take Foul Appearance. This player's appearance is so horrible that any opposing player that wants to block him must first roll a d6 and score 2 or more. If the opposing player rolls a 1, he is too revolted to make the block, and it is wasted. You can get extra arms to help you pick up and catch and intercept the ball. You can get horns, so when you blitz people, it hits harder. You get 2 heads. Watch all the people around you trying to trip you, so you get +1 on your dodge rolls. Very long legs allows you to leap more safely. We haven't seen any leaping yet. Disturbing Presence is the thing that Yeti had in the last game we played, where it interferes with people's ability to pass, intercept, and catch the ball around him. A Prehensile Tail makes it harder for players to dodge away from you. tentacles sometimes make it so the player can't even move away from you when they try. You can just grab them with your tentacles. Big hand makes you better at catching. Or sorry, makes you better at picking up the ball in certain situations. And claws will allow you to break armor more easily. Is this new? Oh no, claw isn't new. I'm thinking claws. I've never heard of claws, but claw is totally an old skill. Well, when an opponent is knocked down by this player during a block, any armor roll of 8 or more, and remember, you roll two 6-sided dice, so 8 or more is actually fairly common. It's like 42% of the time, I think. Claw is pretty good. We have Mighty Blow already, which adds 1 to our roll, and those do stack in the way that is fun. So you get, you actually get an injury, or you get an armor break anytime your roll is 7 or higher. I think we're going to take that. We're going to get Claw and Mighty Blow. This makes our troll very good at murdering people.
Got any advice for the budding coach then, Bob?
And what do we have for this guy?
You never know who might
He rolled doubles. Okay, so he can take skills from the general category as well as strength and mutation, but he also could take agility or passing skills this time. So, leader is a skill that's good to have one of on the team. If a team has 1 or more players with the leader skill, they get an extra team reroll, effectively, as long as the guy with the leader is out on the field. Then there's a bunch of skills that are passing relevant, as you might imagine. You can pass more accurately. You can ignore enemy tackle zones on you when you pass. You get Nerves of Steel. Dump Off is pretty cool. It allows you to make a quick pass whenever an opponent declares a block on you. So right before you get hit, you just dump the ball off to somebody else. That's not a terrible skill for a blitzer to have. Agility, though, will allow us to take dodge. We already have block, and a player with both block and dodge can only be knocked down by the actual yellow POW face on the die. Block and dodge together make you a very, very tough ball carrier. So I think we're going to pick up dodge. There's a lot of cool stuff available, but I would be remiss if I didn't complement block with dodge. Honestly, I'm very happy with those level ups. I think that was really, really good for our team. Idig is going to turn into a total monster. Alright, now we have 80k. I mean, we have 12 functional, living, uninjured players. We are ready for next week. I think we're just going to sit on this money. I'm not going to buy anything with it just yet. In case, you know, an important player dies or something, we want to be able to easily replace them. And we have most of the important things. We have an apothecary. We don't have any cheerleaders or assistant coaches, because I don't really... All that these do is assistant coaches, whenever the brilliant coaching event happens, which happened toward the end of the game and gave us a free reroll. Whenever that event happens, both teams roll some dice, and whoever gets the better result gets the free reroll. Assistant coaches add to your die result on that one kickoff event, and cheerleaders are exactly the same thing, but for a different kickoff event. I don't consider them worth the money, because they do inflate your team value when you pick them up. Every 10k you spend on anything on your team increases your team value by 10, thus making it more likely that opponents will get free money when they play against you. I just don't think it's worth the bloat. So I think we're actually good for now. Let's scout our next round opponent. Ooh, a Necromantic team. Necromantic is my my other favorite team. These guys are actually, I think, a very strong team. This is a very, very competitive team. This is going to be a tough game, but we're at full strength. In fact, fuller strength than ever before. I'm excited. I think we might actually be able to win this one. So that's going to be it for us for today. Come back next time. All I know for sure is it's going to be a bloodbath. And we'll see you then.